I am relieved that he passed before he was executed. Um, Definitely. Like I said, I feel like it'd been too long.
Convicted child killer Christopher Sepulveda cheats execution and dies from natural causes. And now his biological son says he wishes the execution had happened sooner. You're watching KSLA News 12 at 6. I'm Bisky Duncan.
And I'm Ashley Graham. Tonight, the son of the convicted child killer is speaking out for the first time in his life about his father. Sepulveda was set to be executed on March 17th, but he died from natural causes over the weekend.
He was surrounded by his children, including Jeremy Bryan, who sat down with KSLA's Dominique Ben to talk about his father, death row, and being a voice for abused children.
I've kept silent for many years just because the media attention on it, I didn't, and all the details with this case, I had spoken with him back when I met him, and he had always said he owed me the truth.
But Jeremy Bryan never got the truth. His father, 81-year-old death row inmate Christopher Sepulveda, died from natural causes at Angola State Penitentiary's prison hospital on Saturday, just a day after he was sent to have one of his legs amputated. But after turning down the surgery, gangrene and sepsis set in.
He had made peace with God and he was ready to go, but I definitely think he wanted to go out on his own terms.
Jeremy was just 3 weeks old when his father was arrested for murder after beating and scalding with hot water his older brother, Wesley Allen Mercer, who was just 6 years old at the time.
He never admitted to beating your brother or putting him in scalding hot water.
He never admitted that to me, no. The monster that everybody made him out to be was not the person I met. Everybody just talked about how terrible of a person he was. And I didn't see that side, and
So can you see the side of a 6-year-old being immersed in hot water?
I can definitely see that side, and it's a very terrible thing. And I mean, that was my brother that I'll never get to meet, I'll never get to know. Mm-hmm. And it's heartbreaking, and he didn't have a voice, and I also want to speak out for kids that don't have a voice, because in the line of work I do see a lot of kids that come from abusive situations, mm-hmm. and they can't speak out. And
do you think about your brother?
I do. I take it personal a lot of times. It's a hard thing to deal with, and especially when you see a child that wants to speak out or they're crying to you for help, and you can't do anything. Your hands are tied, and they're like, oh well, I've called CPS, I've called all these places that are supposed to help us, mm-hmm. and they're not doing anything. They said there's nothing they can do. And I think more needs to be done along the lines of giving children that are abused a voice.
Sepulveda was set to die by nitrogen hypoxia in less than a month after 30 years on death row. Jeremy visited Sepulveda Saturday morning in the prison infirmary after getting a call his health was failing fast.
I know he didn't want to die on death row, and I don't think he ever wanted to get out of prison, but he was making the best of a terrible situation.
Jeremy says his adoptive parents are very supportive of him, especially when he first went to visit his biological father about 8 years ago. Although the two grew their relationship, he feels 30 years on death row is too long and the sentence should have been carried out sooner. He says families on both sides suffered for decades waiting for the sentence to happen.
I feel like it takes too long. If the crime is committed and there's undeniable proof that the crime was committed, why wait so long to carry out, justice for the victim's family? That's putting the victim's family in turmoil too, because every time it comes up for the victim's family as well, because I am the victim's family as well, it's when is this going to be resolved?
Or now, Jeremy says this is closure, even though Sepulveda took everything he knew to the grave.
I'm not going to sugarcoat what he did. What he did was absolutely terrible. But I have forgiven him, and I think that a lot of people deserve forgiveness, And I'm real big on making amends with people and trying to see another side of a person, not just the side that everybody tells you, but seeing them for who they are, I feel like he made peace with God. Whether or not he's in heaven or hell, it's not nothing I can know. That's nothing we won't know until the end,
In Shreveport, Dominique Ben, KSLA News 12.
We've compiled a list of all of Northwest Louisiana inmates who have been sentenced to death. Caddo Parish has 13 people on death row. There's one person on death row from Bossier Parish, one from Natchitoches Parish, and one from Webster Parish. Again, we have that full list on our website, ksla.com, and on our KSLA News 12 app.